Hello, welcome to the session 10 of our content, that is Recon, where in this session we are going to study about ports, type of ports, Nmap, Zenmap, Masscan and Netcat. So basically in this session we'll be studying all about how you can discover a port, how you can discover a network, that is a whole network scanning, what ports are, what different type of ports are, and other tools for discovering the ports. Now moving towards, let's come upon the ports. Ports are just basically a gateway via which you can use certain services of for your system, whether it's an inside service or whether it's an outside service. A port in computing has three main uses, each as a type of receptacle in networking, computer hardware and software. When we talk about a port in networking, is a software defined number associated to a network protocol that receives or transmits communication for a specific service. A port in computer hardware is a jack or socket that peripheral hardware plugs into. A port in computer software is when a piece of software has been translated or converted to run on different hardware or operating system than it was originally designed for. Basically, they are both hardware as well as virtual numbers. So when we talk about the hardware or computer hardware ports, they are just like USB port, audio jack port, charging port, HDMI port, VGA port. But when we talk about the ports in terms of networking, those ports are nothing but the number via which a certain specific communication can be occurred and a protocol or a service is using that number for performing the communication. Now, let's define the ports according to our usability and the functionality. So basically there are two kinds of ports. First one is a hardware port, that are computer ports which can be touched, that is tangible, and which can be seen, like digital visual interface port, display port, eSATA port, PS2 port, serial port, SCSI port, USB port. And second one is a networking port. These are neither tangible nor visible to you because they are virtually or digitally present inside the system. There are total 65,535 ports in number as we talk about the virtual or networking ports whose services can be taken. Now when we talk about networking ports, there are three categories of networking ports. First one is well-known ports or predefined ports which are ranged from 1 to 1024. Second one is registered ports and the third one is dynamic ports. Well-known or predefined ports are those ports which are actually used for a basic communication network to work, like your SSH protocol, your HTTP, your HTTPS, your SMB, your FTP, and other protocols which are quite known and which are required to run a basic communication either in a network or on the internet. Registered ports are those ports which are registered by the organization. They pay a very good amount of money for a lease time period. Like when we talk about Oracle's MySQL database, it uses a port 3306. Or when we talk about iTunes port, it uses a certain port, or even BlackBerry's BBM. It also uses a specific port which was registered by the organization over the internet. Now dynamic ports are those ports which you can use randomly for your specific purposes, just for a short amount of period without paying anyone any sort of money or without for a lease period of time. So it's something I want to run a FTP server on port 1337 in my system, so I can run it. Once my work is done, the port is going to get shut down. So that's why these ports are known as dynamic ports. Only well-known or predefined ports have a specific number, whereas or a specific range. Whereas when we talk about registered and dynamic ports, they don't have a specific range, but they do have a specific numbers. Just like port 3306 is used for MySQL. Now moving towards, we are supposed to work upon port discovery as well as a network scanning. When we talk about the port discovery, ports are quite essential. In our previous sessions, we have seen how name servers can be found, how mail servers can be found. We also need to know what kind of ports are open either on their mail servers as well as on their name servers or any other server which is associated with the web application or any other system which is associated inside the network whose network we are going to work upon. So there are many tools for doing certain tasks. So the best tool which we can use is Nmap. Now Nmap is an abbreviation of network mapper. When we talk about this tool Nmap, it is programmed and designed in Lua. It is a network mapper. It's a free as well as open source utility for network discovery and security auditing. Many security systems and network administrators also find it useful for tasks such as network inventory, managing services, upgrade schedules, and monitoring host or service uptime. Nmap uses raw IP packets in novel way to determine what hosts are available on the network, what services those hosts are offering, what operating system they are running, what type of packet filters or firewalls are in use, and dozens of other characteristics. It was designed to rapidly scan very large networks, but it also worked fine against very small networks as well. So with the help of Nmap, you will be able to find the open ports present in a system, what are the services running on those system, what are the versions of the services running on those system, what operating system is running on a specific system, what other vulnerabilities can be found on that port which is running on those specific system. Apart from it, you will be also able to see what versions of operating systems are running over those operating systems of those operating system present inside the system itself, which is connected inside the network. So when we talk about ports or when we talk about the Nmap, there is something we call port status. Now whenever we will be running for Nmap scans, so let me show you certain Nmap scans. Okay, we'll be working with the Nmap scans. So with the help of those Nmap scans, we will be able to find out what kind of status the port offers, which means there are 6 different status a Nmap scan will offer you. First one will be open. Open means a port is actively open and an application is actively running and listening on that port. So that's why your Nmap result will show it as open. Second is closed. A port is termed or categorized as closed when the port is open but there is no active application running or listening over that port. Third status you will be getting is filtered, which means Nmap cannot determine whether the port is open because packet filtering prevents its probing from reaching the port, which means either there will be a firewall, there will be an IPS, IDS protecting that port. Unfiltered, that's the next status, which means the unfiltered state means that the port is accessible but Nmap is unable to determine whether it is open or closed. Then again, we have got open filtered and closed filtered. Open filtered in short term means the port is in an open state but it is still protected by a firewall. And closed filter means port is unable to access or the port is in closed state and is still protected by a firewall or even the IPS or IDS which is running inside the network itself. Now coming upon the Nmap scans. Before we proceed towards the Nmap scan, let me show the whole system configuration or the lab configuration. That's my Kali Linux on which we will be working. Second, we have got a Windows 7 and third, we have got another operating system that's named as Metasploitable on which we'll be having a ports open and we'll try to find out the status. Now we are connected either inside a network or we are going to go for a certain specific web application or a specific IP. So we'll be working upon all of these things. Let me make it a little bit enlarged so that it will be visible to you. So let's first go ahead and check our IP address, which is quite important for us. So my IP address is 192.168.98.133. That's my IP address in which I am connected. Now let's move to super user and be a root user, because certain nmap scans require a very good amount of privileges, so which can be provided by a super user itself. Now before we proceed further, let me show you all the files of nmap which are present here. So they are present at a specific location named as cd/usr share nmap. So all of the files of nmap are present over here in this specific location, that is usr share nmap, and all of the database which nmap is already having you will be finding over here. So even if you open any one of those services or any of the files over here, you will find a complete database of nmap. Let it be protocols database, let it be service database, let it be nmap operating system database, nmap payloads database. Anyways, so let's start with our scanning. So my IP address of the system was 192.168.98.133, and my subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, which comes that our whole network address is going to be /24 or 192.168.98.1-255. So our very first scan is network discovery scan. So let's go with it. Nmap space 192.168.98.1/24. So that's my whole complete network. So it will be including all of the PCs or IPs which are up and running inside my network. Though whenever you start a nmap scan, you can always, while performing the scan, you can always hit the enter key for getting about the status. It says 94.43% of the scanning has been done. So again, if I will hit an enter key, okay, the process was quite fast, so I got the results over here. So see, it has given me 192.168.98.1 are in ignored status, because that's my VMware's IP address. That's my VM Fusion's IP address. So 192.168.98.2 will be acting as my router for the communication between the devices. Just like the routers, it's my default gateway for my virtual environment. Third, we have got 192.168.98.167. I am finding these ports having these status and running these services over them, and apart from it, I am having another IP, that is 192.168.98.190. Again, it's telling me these are the ports having this status, running these services over them. So I want to do another kind of scanning. Now first I have done for whole subnet scanning. Now let's go for the same kind of scanning instead of /24, that is providing the type C or class C IP address. I will be providing -255. That will be again a class C's IP address. So let's check out what kind of information I am getting. So according to my knowledge and experience, I will be getting the same result over we get for the previous scans, because both of those scans doesn't gives a difference. They will be giving me the same information, exactly same information. So it says 81.62% has been done. Without any bias or biasing, it will be giving me, providing me the whole information. Even it is scanned for my own system as well, that is 192.168.98.133. so let's wait for the result to pop up. It says again 94.19% of the information of the process has been done. So I can wait couple of more seconds for the scan to get completed, or even more than that, so that I will be getting the same accurate result as I was getting for the other one. So it is probing and checking out which IP is open and which IP is not. Let's say 192.168.98.1, then 98.2, then 98.3, up to 98.255. And again, check out, I got all these IP addresses. Now that's the whole network discovery scan. Second kind of scan over here is sweeping scan, which means I will only be getting the result of those IP addresses which are up inside my network, nothing else. Here I won't be getting any port information, I will be getting just the information about my IP addresses. So let's go for it. I will be using -sp for performing sweeping at a scan, and I will be getting only and only IP addresses, that is 192.168.98.1, 192.168.98.2, 192.168.98.167, 192.168.98.190, 98.254, 98.133. So that's how you can get all the IP addresses which are up inside the whole network and we can work upon. Now, not every time I will be wasting my time for running a whole network scan. If I know we have got only specific IPs, so I will be creating a small file over here for behalf of these IP addresses and I will be scanning from those files. So let's create a file in the system itself. Nano IP underscore file. So I am going to write the IP addresses inside the file, that is 192.168.98.1, 192.168.98.2, 192.168.98. I guess it was 167, 192.168.98.190, 192.168.98.254. So I guess these are the IP address. So that's my own IP address. So I don't need to scan for my own IP addresses. Now this 254, that is the last IP which I received, is a broadcasting address. So I again don't need to scan for it. There is my default gateway, so router can also be included, but when we talk about this dot one, that's my VM Fusion's IP address, which will be working as a DHCP server and so on. So I won't be using that IP address. So in short, I am left out with just 3 IP addresses. So let's save the file and let's check out cat IP underscore file, and I am having 3 IP addresses inside my file. Now what I need to do is, if I want to scan from the file, I will be going for nmap space -i capital L IP underscore file and hit the enter key. So it will be just giving me results as fast as possible. Now, apart from this, it's not always necessary that you will be receiving all the information with just simple scan. So you can also use stealth scan. Stealth scan is also known as half open scan or half connect scan or synchronization stealth scan, because in a normal communication, a communication makes a three-way handshake for communicating. But when we talk about stealth scan doesn't go for three-way handshake. So first it will be sending some synchronization packet. It will be waiting for an acknowledgement from the port. If it receives an acknowledgement, that means the port is open. It will be moving towards the next port in the same IP, sending again the synchronization and waiting for receiving an acknowledgement. So for performing this scan, what I can do is I can just directly add small s capital S at the end of my command and press the whole enter key. So I will be able to grab all the information, though the information will be same. In maximum all of the information, or in all of the scans, I will be having the same sort of information I am getting for this scannings which we have done so far. So next is only getting the port number as well as the service over there is not enough for a tester to test upon. We also need to get a specific version number. Now the next kind of scan is a version detection scan. So I will be adding just a simple parameter, that is -s capital V, for performing a version detection scan, and I will be able to perform the whole version detection scan over here. So apart from getting 3 columns, I will be getting 4 columns, and the 4th column will be telling me the exact version of the services which will be running upon. So it's gonna take a few more seconds extra for performing the scan, since it's going to detect the version of the services running on a specific port of a specific IP connected to a network. It says 78.12% has been completed, 81.25% has been completed. So we need to wait till all of them got completed. Perfect. Now can you see we have got another column over here which says version, and it's gonna tell me what kind of what version of the service are being running upon on a specific port itself. Now, having this information is not enough. We also need to know what kind of operating system the specific IP address is running, which is connected inside the system itself. So, for performing a operating system detection scan, I will be using another parameter, that is hyphen capital O. Capital O stands for operating system detection scan. So, here I will be able to grab the operating system information. Now, check out. Microsoft Windows 7 2008 or 8.1, it says it could be there. Even if you're gonna go scroll down for the other system, it says it's running Linux 2.6.9. that's a raw kernel for the Linux, which I am grabbing over here. Now there are various more information. Let's say we can go for a port detection scan. Now I just want to grab only those services or those ports with a specific information. Let's say I want to search for or scan for specific port numbers. So let's say nmap hyphen p, I can give either a simple port number, let's say 139, or multiple port numbers separated by a comma over here, and hit the enter key. So it will be just scanning for these two specific ports from each and every device running inside the network. Now check out. For 98.2, it says these two are closed. For 98.167, these two are open. For 98.190, these two are open. I can also try to get for a version detection over these ports of the services which are running over the IP addresses. So it specifically and exclusively will be running for the iPorts running over the IPs, just for those specific ports, and boom, I got the result over here. So it's gonna give me information about the SMB services which is running over these two specific ports. Now I can also go for a concat complete scan, where you will be having information about certain banners as well as more information about the services which is running over the system. So let's go for hyphen s capital C, which means concat complete scan, and I will be getting the information in a more detailed way. So again, it's gonna take a while for it to scan all the IP addresses and grab all of the information over here. So let's wait. It says 93.50% has been done, and again 95.24% has been completed. 97.03. It's gonna take a little more while. 98.29%. And yes, now check out. I got a detailed information about each and every port, what kind of things are running inside it. For dot 2, nothing is been there because it belongs for VMware, that is your VM Fusion, that's a default gateway over 98.167, which is actually my Windows 7 Ultimate having a service pack 1 and the build number is 7601. It gave me certain information, that is certain name, my computer name has been given, NetBIOS name has been provided, my work group name has also been provided. It says system time is this at this current time, and again some information about assembly. Scrolling down, we'll be getting more information, let's say about port 21, that is a FTP service connected as this thing, and it says anonymous login is allowed over that FTP. Now, what does anonymous login means? Anonymous login means you can gain the access of the system just by entering the username anonymous and the password as blank. You will be able to have the access of the FTP system inside the target system. Again, there is this SMTP running. It's giving some more information about the SSL version 2 supported ciphers of my SMTP. Again, scrolling down, I am getting the information about the server which is hosted, or the web application which is hosted over port 80, as well as some RPC bind that is over port 111. Some information is revealed. Again, if we will scroll down on port 3306, there is a MySQL database running over there, and certain information is provided from there, and certain information about SSL date on PostgreSQL information has also been provided here. Likewise, I will be getting a detailed information. Now I can combine three scans, all the three of those scans, that is SC-SS-SV, and I will be able to grab the whole of an information over here, which will be useful while performing a network discovery or a port discovery scan inside my whole system. So again, it's gonna take a while just to gather all sort of information. Running all the three scans, that is these big scans, can cause a huge network traffic, but it is for sure I will be getting a very exact and precise result from these three scans. Though the network traffic will be a little high, but it won't cause any sort of harm to the network or the applications running inside the network, nor it will be able to perform any sort of DOS attack with this range of packets which are being dealt or which are being thrown or sent by our Nmap. So let's wait a while so that we could grab our information in a most precise manner. 93.75% of the scan has been done. And I got the whole information. So it will give me the information of combined three scans in just one scan. Check out. The information will be same, but this time the information will be merged within these three within this one scan from these three scans. Now you can also run certain sort of TCP scan. TCP scan, as in we know there are two kinds of protocol. Either the protocol or service will be a TCP, that's a transmission control protocol, or a UDP, user datagram protocol, which means either the communication of the service will be a connection oriented or connection less service or a protocol. Now I can run the simple TCP scan by just providing the -s capital T argument here, and it will be running whole of the TCP scan. So again, the information will be just for a very simple scan. Now you can perform these combined scan, that is -s capital T over specific port, that is 139,445 inside the whole network system, where it will be running for these two scans. So it says, okay, sorry, I can't run -sg, but with these two I will be able to run only for SS, SC and SV over these two specific port, that is 139 and 445 over there. Again, that's not gonna take much amount of time, hardly 10 to 15 seconds to be max for grabbing all those information. I'm here. But now if I want to run a scan over these two ports, so I will be just going for hyphen st over port 139 and 445, and here I will be having the result. Now, next kind of scan is a UDP scan. When we talk about UDP scan means user datagram protocol scan, which will take a huge amount of time in actual. So I will be just using one IP for performing, and to show you the difference about these two scans. Let's go for nmap 192.168.98.167. I guess so the IP is 167. Yes, and first I will be running for hyphen st, which means a TCP scan, and I am having the results over here. Now on the contrary, I will be running a UDP scan with providing hyphen s capital U as an argument and hit the enter key. So it will be running a whole UDP scan. Now, while it is running a whole UDP scan, it's gonna take a very huge amount of time for performing the whole UDP scan over here. So you can just wait for this whole UDP scan to get completed, and it's just 2.38% has been done so far. So let me skip through this part, and we'll resume once the scan has been completed. Took its time to complete it, but here the results are quite different. In TCP, we have got 135 and 139 open, which are of TCP, and services are MSRPC and NetBIOS-SSN. Whereas here we got 137, 138, which are open, but 138 is filtered. But again, both are of NetBIOS services. So that sure took its own time for completing the whole nmap scan. So that's how we can proceed with the scanning. Now, when we talk about the NSC scripts, that is nmap search engine scripts, there are certain scripts which are quite present for nmap. And those scripts are residing inside the same location but inside the folder of nmap. Let's go for it, cd space /usr share nmap. And if you will list here, you will find a scripts folder. Sort of scripts are present there. So I have gone for cd space scripts and list all of the scripts which are present here. So these are all of those scripts which are quite present inside nmap. So let's check out hyphen ls space hyphen L, and you will be able to see all the scripts in a listed manner. And let's check out how many scripts are present there. Let's go for w count hyphen L, that is the lines. So there are 606 scripts for nmap. Now let's say I want to go for some SMB scripts. I will just go for ls space pipe grep SMB. So it will be giving me all those SMB scripts which are present over here. Now the way for using those scripts is you just need to use the script name. For example, let's talk about this one, SMB1 MS17010. That's for detecting eternal blue attack. So let's copy this and let's deploy it nmap over 167 hyphen script space the script name. Nothing else is required. So what it's going to do is it's going to test for certain vulnerability, and here we'll be getting the result which says it is vulnerable to remote code execution vulnerability in Microsoft SMB version 1 server, that is MS17010, and hence it is also provided as the CVE, that is CVE 2017, which was released in the year of 2017, and the index number is 0143. So that's how you can actually use all of these SMB scripts. Now I want all of the scripts which are quite present on of a certain specific service. So what I can go for is, let's list down certain specific service. Let's say cd space hyphen, I am present inside the script folder. So I can go for ls space nfs asterisk, that is network file share. So these are the all three scripts for nfs, that is network file share. Now what I am actually going to do is I will be running the whole nmap scripts for our nfs, that is that is network file share, that is hyphen hyphen scripts space NFS and an asterisk key over a IP address where the NFS is working, that is network file share is working. So it will be executing and it will be telling me what are all the scripts or what are all the services running which is present inside the script. So it's going to go, show us the mounting space, it's going to show us the statistics, it's going to show us the shares which are quite present, which we can actually go for and open the shares present inside network file share, that is over the IP address 192.168.98.190 over a specific port. So as you can see, I am able to grab all the information from NFS. So it's still executing. So it says these are all the shares which I can actually access, or these are all the files, folders, directories which I can access through NFS. And that's how you can actually execute all those scripts which are using NFS, or all the scripts which are having NFS at the starting of the scripts. So that's how you can actually go for. Now in other terms, I can also run a vulnerability detection script of nmap. That's, let's go for nmap space 192.168.98.167 hyphen hyphen script space 1. So it will be detecting all the possible vulnerabilities which are quite present on this specific IP address. So let's wait for certain amount of time and it will be presenting us with all the vulnerabilities present inside our IP address, that is 192.168.98.167, including all the service detection vulnerabilities. Though I can run this vulnerability detection script over a specific port number by providing the -p option. So it says 86.75% has been done. Now let's check out. It says 87.36% has been completed. Let's again press the enter key and it says 87.73%. Though it is running little slow because it's executing all the vulnerability detections present inside our specific IP address. And let's see again, it says 88.22% has been done. So we actually need to wait for its time, or for the end of its execution, so that we can execute our next application or the script, whatever is there inside the protocol to be followed. So according to this, it's gonna tell me, okay, it has shown me with all the specific vulnerabilities which are present inside my system on which I am running this simple vulnerability detection script over here. So if you will be just scrolling up and down, it's going to tell you what are all the vulnerabilities it has gone for. So it says it has gone for these vulnerability detection scripts and only one of them is actually working, which means this specific IP address is vulnerable to just one specific vulnerability, and that is MS17010. That's a eternal blue script, or so-called MS17010. So which is another name, or it's a co-coded name for our vulnerability which we are able to find in this specific operating system or in this specific IP address. So that's how you can actually run all of the SMB scripts or any of the NSE scripts. Now there are certain other tools apart from Nmap which can be easily used for doing a network scanning or detecting the ports which are open in the operating system or at a specific moment of time as per the requirement of the hour. So we can actually go for certain other tools. Other tools like we have got a tool named as mass scan, which is actually used for performing information gathering on the networks, like which operating system is running which sort of port and what kind of services. Though it is not that much powerful as compared to Nmap, but yes, it will do a rapid scan as compared to Nmap scanning. So hence let's proceed with the Nmap, sorry, mass scan, which is quite a good and tool with the more value as equivalent to the Nmap. So mass scan, in sometimes some operating system it's pre-installed and some operating system it you need to install. Though in the latest version of the Kali Linux it's already installed here. So as you can see, the mass scan written over here is not actually a red one, so I can directly go here. So I can go for mass scan space hyphen p. Let's go for port 445 on the IP address range, that is 192.168.98.1/24. So it's going to scan the for the whole of the network for port 445 present inside it. Says found in two different devices, that is on port on the IP address 190 and the second IP address is 98.167. That's actually how you can use your Zen mass scan for performing scanning over different IP addresses present inside a network itself. So that's how you can use mass scan for performing a network information gathering or a port enumeration. Now next tool is netcat, that's named as Swiss knife tool, army Swiss knife, ncat, nc or netcat. So there are so many uses for this specific tool which you can actually go for. So one of the best thing which I like about netcat is you can use it for getting a reverse shell, a bind shell. You can use it for a simple TCP IP based communication. You can use it for detecting port opening as well as for file transfers. So you can use this tool for performing a simple scan for the port detection, at which port is open, which port is closed. So you can actually use a netcat for different variety of scans, but two major varieties are TCP scan as well as UDP port scan. So I am able to find detect various port services over this information. So let's go for first a TCP scan using or TCP port scanning using netcat. So for that the command is nc, that is netcat hyphen nvv, that is numeric verbose hyphen w specifies that I am using it for scanning version hyphen z. I need to give the IP address. Let's give it 192.168.98.167. Now I need to specify a certain port range. So let's give it 130 to 140. So it's gonna give me, so as you can see here on the IP ports which are closed and which are not actually open, so you will be able to get the information as connection refused. But the ports which are open and on which the service is running and application is running, you will be getting information as in port number, the service, and it's gonna tag it as open. Same goes for each and every port which is present over there. So that's how you go for a TCP port scanning using netcat. Now you can also go for UDP port scanning. Here you need to provide another argument, that is -u, for providing it as a UDP. Now if I am going to go for UDP on the same IP, I will go for the same range of the port numbers and hit enter. Now let's wait. Though since it's a UDP, it's going to give a different information and it will only give you information about the ports which are open. It's not going to give you the information about the ports which are closed. Hence, you are able to see port 137 and 138 are open, which are of UDP type. Though in our previous scan, which was for the TCP service detection scan, where we were getting only port 135 and 139 open in UDP, I am also getting port 138 and 137. So that's how we can go for port discovery as well as network discovery. I hope I got each and everything clear to you regarding port scanning as well as the network scanning using Nmap, Masscan as well as Netcat. Hope to see you soon in the next session. Have a nice day. Bye bye.